Hello, welcome to a 1v1 on Langorskaya. This one is going to be between Arzuna86 and Victoria. Arzuna86 at time of casting is rank 50, USF 1v1. Pretty good player, very good player. And Victoria at time of casting is rank 85 as Oster 1v1. I was going to look at her other stats, but her Steam profile picture is a very scantily clad woman and I got distracted.
Project complete.
Over here we do have infantry company going up from Victoria, going straight into sniper. Wow, that is a bold decision. I don't think I've ever seen that. So sniper first, especially on Langorskaya when it's kind of... I don't know what I think about that decision. It is a very long-range combat map, but without some kind of grenadier screening for it, basically his or her only screening troops are going to be these pioneers. So I don't know if I think that's a... I don't know if I think that's a good decision. I guess we'll see how it works out. Arzuna, on the other hand, going with standard double rifles. I actually would strongly advocate a second rear echelon troop squad on this particular map, because then you can send one rear echelon troop over here to the left to do as much harassment as possible, possibly also throwing out a volley fire on the pioneers that you'll inevitably encounter, winning therefore the engagement for the left side fuel, but also have a spare squad of rear echelon troops over here on the right to help with capping so that you're not forced to send a rifleman squad all the way to the right side fuel, making it unlikely to participate in the very first engagement. Sniper moving up to take the strategic point over here. Pioneers, of course, moving straight for the fuel, and that will be the first engagement. It looks like Pioneers encountering these rear echelon troops. Arzuna does have 23 munitions, so he may throw out volley fire, and if he does, I think he will win that engagement. If he does not, then he'll probably lose it. Grenadiers moving up with sniper support, however, so pretty much no matter what it does, rear echelon troops going to get pushed back while the riflemen continue to capture territory over on the left side. Volley fire is going out, and it does work. Pioneers get suppressed, however, if they don't pin the squad, they may not even actually be able to win the engagement. And the volley fire is worn off and the squad is not pinned, unfortunately, so he actually may still lose this. He's sustained quite a lot of damage, and once they get unsuppressed, it's going to be bad. Sniper firing on these riflemen, takes two of them out, but he's in red cover, and now his retreat path is cut off. He's trying to make his way towards these grenadiers to screen, and it looks like he's just barely out of the rifleman's range, and the riflemen are not going to be able to catch it, I don't think. Now he's retreating. Oh, if he had stuck around, he probably could have wiped it. Unfortunately, I think he didn't quite spot it retreating, and he's now going to retreat himself. But look at the damage just from a couple lucky Garen shots on the red cover. Yeah, I don't know if I think sniper first was the way to go. Did inflict 2 model losses. Up here in the top, they're still suppressed somehow. I think if he gets in cover, though, he would probably be able to break the suppression. And he's actually just going to sit in the fuel point so that he can keep the fuel coming in. Oh, there he goes. He finally broke suppression, and Arzuna immediately retreats because he knows that that's going to be death for those rear echelon troops. And I actually think that's almost a minor imbalance in the firepower of the two units. Pioneers are actually not that bad for damage at close range, and if we take a look, they cost only 200 manpower. If we take a look at the USF counterpart, the rear echelon troops are only 160, so they are cheaper, but they do almost no damage at all with their standard attack. And I guess they make up for that in the fact that they have the utility of volley fire, but I feel like that their firepower could be increased just ever so slightly because their DPS is almost negligible against anything except for a Kubelwagen. It's basically the only target that they can actually damage reliably. The Kubelwagen and the SWS Supply Half-Track Mobile Commando West against Oster, they are almost literally useless though. Until, of course, you upgrade them with bazookas or something like that, then they can have a little bit of light vehicle firepower. Rifles firing on the Grenadiers. Grenadiers taking the munitions point over here on the right side. We also have rifles doing what they can over on the left. They're going to get sniped by the sniper there. Unfortunately, screening Grenadiers are going to prevent him from finishing that sniper off, it looks like. Continuing to take casualties. I'm not sure he's noticed. There he goes, finally retreating. The rifleman over here taking a little damage, but it looks like they have the upper hand in this engagement, and once the lieutenant arrives to support, those Grenadiers will definitely be pushed back. Still, all things considered, I would say that the Oster player has very nice map control right now, holding 1 fuel point, 2 victory points, and 2 munitions points. Very good position to be in. Of course, there is now an M20 hitting the field, rapidly upgrading with armor skirts, and that is a 4-minute 50-second M20. Very on point US play right there. Very quick to take up to that. Very impressive, and it's also an excellent counter to the sniper, especially so wounded, exposed like that. I'm sure the M20 is already going to be on its way to take that out. Baiting with this one-man rifle squad. Oh, he took a bit of a weird route there. He's going to be visible to the Grenadiers in the building, but it looks like he was a little slow to retreat. He is firing on it from max range, and he'll get a speed boost from the road. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to take it out, though. He's chasing. If he dives into the base, there's absolutely nothing to stop him from killing this sniper, and the sniper is going to go down for sure. Oh, no, and a full Grenadier squad could go down too. One man remaining. Oh, don't leave! Don't leave, stay. You could easily finish that off. Maybe he's just trying to stay out of Panzerfaust range. Oh, okay. The Grenadier is going to survive. Doesn't want to risk it, and just pulls himself out. Oh my gosh, he could have easily wiped 2 full squads of Grenadiers if he had just stayed, though. I don't know why he left. If he had just stayed at minimum range, killed them at... 1 full burst from the M20's top gun is enough, guaranteed to kill 1 Grenadier model, always. No questions asked. Maybe even inside of a medic bunker, if at low enough health, he could have definitely wiped both of those squads. It's a shame that he didn't take advantage of that opportunity, but we'll see what happens. We do have a bit of an engagement happening up here in the north. M20 moving up to harass. Look at the nice damage there. He could probably even wipe this squad on retreat if he's good with his micro. Nice damage, nice blocking. Very nice use of the M20, very good. He can do this. That's a very overextended squad of Grenadiers. I think he can wipe it. Oh, phases through him. And I don't know if he's going to chase. Looks like he's rotating to chase. Could do it. These Grenadiers have not moved to support, so there's not going to be any Panzerfaust retaliation. But he's not going to chase into the base. That's the 3rd Grenadier squad that he could have wiped, but didn't just because he pussied out. Grow a pair of balls, Arzuna, damn.
Troops standing by. Ready.
Being conservative with your units, unit preservation is very important. It's good to see him exercising a little caution, but that being said, you've got to know when it's safe to push and capitalize on those moments, and that was definitely a bit of a misstep on his part. Still, lots of manpower bleed being inflicted on his opponent, so that's a good thing to see. And we do now have the SDKF Z250 half-track hitting the field, so that is an indicator of mechanized assault group being called in. And it's being used to chase off some rear echelon troops over there. We also have Lieutenant and Riflemen moving up over here on the left. Nice positioning of those Riflemen on those overextended Grenadiers, but once again it looks like the squad's going to get away by just a hair. And he's just having no luck taking those squads out. We do not have a rifle grenade going in on the half track here. He's going to be taking quite a bit of damage from it there. Panzer Grenadiers firing from medium range. The Lieutenant does chase away a Grenadier squad up there, but the half-track is actually going to chase this wounded Rifleman squad. I think he may have waited a little bit too long to retreat. Half-track is closing the distance. There's no mines in the retreat path. There's nothing in the retreat path to deter this. M20 is moving up to try to assist, try to screen. It's going to be close. Oh, there it goes. Rifleman squad down. The M20 50 cal is going to do pretty good penetration though on the rear armor of that half-track. Yeah, it's definitely not going to survive this, and I don't think that there's a Panzerschreck upgrade cooking on those Panzer Grenadiers either. Nope. He could have afforded it, but he's not in his territory now, and it's too late. And there it goes. 2 Panzer Grenadiers killed in the explosion as well. Probably could wipe that squad if he chased, but judging by his track record so far, I'm thinking it's probably not going to happen. In fact, this time he's not even trying. So, quite a bit of back and forth here so far. Mechanized Assault being chosen by the austere player, and Arzuna 86 going with Airborne. We are going to see paratroopers dropped in somewhere in the base. Alright. He does have 200 munitions as well, so I suspect he's going to immediately upgrade with one of these upgrades. This is a very long-range combat map, so I would expect to see the LMGs. However, having a short-range assault infantry squad with Thompsons isn't bad on this map either if you're going to use it for flanking around these tight corners or through these gaps. But that's usually not feasible, and it looks like he is going to go with the LMGs, so I think that's a good decision on this map. Airborne are very good infantry range once they start vetting up. And the LMGs, unlike the infantry company LMGs, which are more expensive now, the airborne LMGs are still only 120. So I think they are the best upgrade that the USF has access to right now, as far as return on investment, as far as cost effectiveness. If not the Thompson. I think it's a toss-up between the Thompson and the LMG, but obviously you have to take into account what your situation is and what's going to be more effective for the engagement, the kind of engagements you're going to be fighting. And I definitely think the LMG is a better choice in this case. He does get access now to suppressing fire in addition to his base airborne abilities. Some harassment going down over here in the north. We have grenadiers moving up to the north strategic point. We have riflemen moving in to harass as well, or counter harass actually. I think he spotted those grenadiers. The scout car sort of peeks through the gap there and sees a bunch of allied infantry. We also have the Brownings firing on these pioneers, and they stand no chance and are immediately forced away. Panzer Grenadiers duking it out with riflemen. The riflemen take a little too much damage, so Arzuna just opts to retreat. But we do have Vet 1 getting hit at just the right time up against the scout car right here. We really need to see a rifle grenade before it gets out of range. There it goes. He is popping it. We also have rear echelon troops moving around the flank, and they can definitely finish this off. If he chases, yep, there it goes. Rear echelon troops, that's their first kill as a scout car. Very nice. We also have some harassment here. Nice job cutting off territory. Almost all of the Wehrmacht territory is cut off now thanks to the airborne over here, as well as the lieutenant there. Oh, that Stug E gets a nasty shot on that lieutenant, wiping 3 out of 4 models. Fortunately, or two out of 3, I guess. And it just barely makes it away. Makes it through the hedges. So that was close. If we take a look at the utility car, I'm not sure if any mines have been laid. If they have, I haven't spotted them. I don't see any in this general area, and he really needs one to push away that Stuggy. Of course, he does have the airborne AT gun, and he's going to crew that with some riflemen in the base now, and it looks like that Stuggy is hugely overextending. He probably didn't spot the plane being called in. As soon as the Stuggy was spotted, if he had seen the plane in, he would know that there is an AT gun on the field. 1 shot connects. He's just barely able to get out of rifle grenade range, though. 2 shots connect. Very nice. That's going to be Vet 1. If he activates Take Aim, he might get a 3rd shot off. There it is! Taken down at max range, and the Stuggy is destroyed thanks to the use of Take Aim. Boom! Very nice use of that American AT gun's ability, just in time. Perfect execution, if I say so myself. We also have some harassment happening over here on the left side from the Auster infantry, which I think may have been a bit of a mistake to send that Stuggy completely unsupported directly into the American base without any infantry support, instead taking advantage of it as a distraction, really, just to take territory back. But now, once again, the M20 is going to have free reign of the battlefield because of the huge waste that Stuggy basically was. 200 manpower is not that bad, but 75 fuel is a lot to be throwing away, especially when you don't even hold your left side fuel point. So only 16 coming in at this particular moment. Lots of munitions being spent on LMGs, so he doesn't quite have enough to get Panzerschrecks. He does have a pack now, however. Although he's positioning it a little bit awkwardly here. It's going to come down to whether he notices or not, and he does notice. Very nice reaction time from Arzuna there, getting that out of harm's way. We do have paratroopers, their LMGs, combating some grenadiers, their LMGs. More bars actually being purchased on these riflemen. I've said in a previous video, I think that the bar is really not very good, and I think you're going to see that here. Then again, it's kind of hard to distinguish the rifleman bar damage from the airborne LMG damage and the M20 50 cal damage, so it's all just kind of a bunch of damage. Somebody made a post on the forums though, giving some interesting numbers. The airborne LMG is something like a 60% DPS increase, whereas the bar is only like 20% or 23% or something really low like that. Somebody then made a counterpoint, however, that the rear echelon troops picking up bar get like a 90% DPS increase or something like that, so it's not necessarily fair just to use percentage numbers because the bar can be equipped on multiple different squads. Although I still, personally, my view is that the bar is not performing particularly well, but it does have a little bit of additional utility in the fact that it can be used on the move, so I guess there are arguments for both sides of that argument. Or, that was a stupid thing to say. I guess that there are reasonable arguments on both sides, but I personally feel that it was over-nerfed, and I think it could use a little love in the next patch. But we'll see what happens. Grenadiers moving up, dealing massive damage to those riflemen who stand absolutely no chance. Firing back with their bars didn't even inflict a model loss before being forced to retreat. Of course, they were outnumbered. Lieutenant catches these minesweepers over here, doing nice damage. The American AT gun is actually now supporting the Sherman, which has just now freshly hit the field, so we are seeing a skip of the Captain Tech going straight from Lieutenant into a Major and then grabbing a Sherman. This is actually the exact build order I like to use. If you've ever watched me stream or play, I almost always go Lieutenant, Utility Car, Sherman, Major Sherman. Because it's quite effective against Ost-Heer, especially if you can surprise them with that quick Sherman and steal the enemy pack guns or MG42s. Using the high explosive rounds, you can often decrew the enemy team weapons and then steal them with some riflemen or rear echelon troops. And it looks like he may be able to do that if he rushes that pack. It currently has no support. Of course, he doesn't want to just dive onto the other side of the hedges, not knowing what's on the other side. Oh, attack ground being used to fire through the hedge. Nice reaction time, though, from that Sherman, getting it out of harm's way. It takes 5 shots from a pack to destroy a Sherman. Fun fact. So, that was the first one. Pack almost always penetrates the Sherman, too, even at long range. Has an extremely high rate of fire, damage, and penetration. It's definitely just a devastatingly powerful anti-tank gun right now. We do have the Major moving up, taking back the munitions point on the right. American kind of struggling for territory now. He had a bit of an advantage before, but now he's kind of juggling threats as well as he can. It does get rather micro-intensive once you have 2 vehicles. He has to worry about the pack, and he has to worry, of course, about his utility car, which he currently has decrewed to aid in repairs. The Sherman pack has moved up. The Sherman, fortunately, is just outside the arc. Bars taking up position in cover, and as you can see, the damage is just kind of pathetic. There's 2 bars in this squad, I think. Right? Yeah, there are 2. Or maybe not. No, there's just 1. But still, it's pretty sad.
Ready. Go ahead. Enemy rifleman. Stand by. Orders.
Which is probably why he's investing so heavily in airborne, because their damage is amazing. Although it's going to probably go in the Panzer Grenadiers' favor if he doesn't back off a little bit here. It could come down to grenades or a lucky HE shell. Ooh, that was a nice one. 3 Grenadiers down in 1 shot. Airborne focusing down the Panzer Grenadiers. The HE shell misses, but the LMGs are doing very nice damage. He's forced to retreat. Next shell could wipe the squad. Oh, not quite. Shoots a little far in the last. Panzer Grenadier makes it away unharmed. Oh, that shell does wipe the squad low. Pretty unfortunate retreat path chosen by those Grenadiers. And that is a lot of infantry getting taken out by that Sherman. Sherman performing very nicely. What is this pack doing? Hugely overextended. Absolutely, utterly unsupported. I don't know what he was thinking with that maneuver. That must have been a rally point or something, because that's terrible. That's bad. I think that's going to get stolen. He does have airborne in range, but they're wounded, and there is some screening infantry moving up. He can't quite charge with his Sherman yet. Then again, any attempt to recruit that pack will probably not work with LMG paratroopers firing. Yeah, instantly decrewed once again. Vehicles being forced back, though, because of just the devastating firepower of that pack. He doesn't quite feel confident enough to go in for a flank, but that's what the Thompson paratroopers are moving up to do, I think. Could be a nasty engagement here if that second pack gets decrewed. We also have Rifleman and Lieutenant moving in from the left flank. No MG42 to stop the infantry blob. We also have some paratroopers over here, and they're actually healing themselves because they're now Vet 2, which is one of the probably best abilities in the game. He decides not to go for the steal, and he simply destroys the gun with his own AT gun. nice decision. I think that was worth it. If anything, he'll be able to steal this one if he wins this engagement, but he certainly doesn't want to be in a position where his opponent could potentially recrew it. He needs to get that airborne squad out of there. Looks like he retreated just in time. They should be fine. Lieutenant moving up and doing heavy damage, and the Grenadiers are all forced away, and the pack gets cleared. And he can definitely steal that, although if possible, you should try not to crew team weapons with the Lieutenant because his reinforce cost is 50 manpower a model, which is absurdly expensive. You should instead try to crew with paratroopers or riflemen or rear echelon troops for the cheaper reinforce cost, but it looks like he's not going to take it. He easily could have. I guess it's because his no, he has an ambulance. He has an ambulance and a major. He could have easily crewed it and then reinforced in the field, but I guess he would just rather rely on his own AT gun and destroy the Wehrmacht one. But wow, that is a quick Tiger. It's only 20 minutes in the game, but both players have 13 command points just because of the ferocity of both of the engagements on all points of the map. And the Tiger is hitting the field, scaring away some riflemen on the left side. Good decision to make sure to get control of your own half of the map before getting aggressive and pushing the enemy's territory. He's going to be moving up with some infantry to retake some of that territory. And that will be moving in on the American forces. And if we take a look at what's available to counter, we have one AT gun and a Sherman and nothing else. So that is problematic. The American player is going to need to field a Jackson or just more AT guns if there's going to be any chance of taking that Tiger out. Or laying an M20 mine, certainly a good idea. It's going to be very important to read his opponent and try to place that mine somewhere where his minesweeper won't pick it up, and so on that the Tiger is actually going to, of course, drive. Listening through the fog of war, he does hear the Tiger moving around through the hedges down here. He may even spot it through the gap. He also sees the shrubbery being destroyed through the fog. Tiger destroys some hedges over here, circling around through the right side. Looks like it's not going to take a route over that mine. It will be up to the American player to sort of bait it a little bit, to guide it over that mine if possible. We also have a mine being planted on the left flank. Good decision. Here we go though, Tiger moving up. It's going to get a beat on those paratroopers. One down already, but fortunately the American AT gun is already vet 2. It's also using take aim, so it could probably get some more shots off, not connecting, hitting the ground. Jackson is also on the field. That's good to see. It's moving up. He also switched the Sherman crew with the Jackson crew. As you can see, the Jackson has 14 kills in vet 1, so the Jackson does have access to HVAP rounds, and he will be able to use those if the Tiger gets back in range. But the Major is taking heavy damage, and unfortunately the American infantry is not that well positioned to screen the Axis infantry over here. Instead they're getting blasted by the Tiger. He also retreated just a hair prematurely, not recovering the dropped LMG. So that's not good. However, he is baiting the Tiger perfectly over the mine. Could detonate? Yes, it does. Perfect bait over the mine. Immobilized. Oh, he needs to get out of range with the Jackson, though. Oh, just barely gets out of range, and the AT gun hits vet 3 as it destroys it, and Victoria surrenders. Perfect execution by the U.S., baiting over that M20 mine. Very nice. Not very good use of the airborne squads. I think he could have screened the enemy's infantry a little bit better there, but when all's said and done, he executed and won the game, taking out that Tiger. So I think that was a really nice play. Excellent use of the 1AT gun as well. I think he could have shut the Axis down even harder if he had stolen those packs. A stolen pack is worth so much more than just a standard American AT gun, just because the raw firepower is just insane. But I think this was well played by both players. Victoria probably could have gotten an MG42 to suppress the enemy infantry. The paratroopers definitely could have been harassed much more effectively if he had done so, but he relied pretty much just entirely on bobbing Grens around with LMG42s, which, while effective, probably not as effective as throwing at least one machine gun into the mix. Then again, he wasn't that effectively able to defend his team weapons. He lost 2 packs, and losing team weapons to the enemy is even worse than just losing them. Losing an MG42 can be disastrous, especially in the early game, so possibly a calculated decision, possibly a tactical misstep. You decide. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you can always send me a cast. I'm happy to do, or send me a replay, and I'm happy to do a cast for you. Otherwise, thanks you for watching. I hope you liked it.